Please make a language selection.
Escoge un idioma, por favor.
English. Hello, and welcome to the Enchanted Forest. Are you ready to go on a storybook adventure with me? Listen closely and follow the star from my magic robe. When the star is over the book and you press a button, you can see the story. When the star is over the Jack-in-the-Box and you press a button, you can play the games. When the star is over the hand and you press a button, you will leave the disc. You can move the star anywhere you like, and remember, if you see the story first, it will help you play the games. Have fun! Games. Story. Parents' notes. Story. To stop the story, press a button and I will help you.
Once upon a time, on an uninhabited island on the shores of the Red Sea, there lived a Parsee from whose hat the rays of the sun were reflected in more than oriental splendor. And the Parsee lived by the Red Sea with nothing but his hat and his knife and a cooking stove of the kind that you must particularly never touch. And one day he took flour and water and currants and plums and sugar and things, and he made himself one cake which was 2 feet across and 3 feet thick. It was indeed a superior comestible. That's magic. And he put it on the stove because he was allowed to cook on that stove, and he baked it and he baked it till it was all done brown and smelt most sentimental. But just as he was going to eat it, there came down to the beach from the altogether uninhabited interior one rhinoceros with a horn on his nose, 2 piggy eyes, and few manners. In those days, the rhinoceros's skin fitted him quite tight. There were no wrinkles in it anywhere. He looked exactly like a Noah's Ark rhinoceros, but of course much bigger. All the same, he had no manners then, and he has no manners now, and he never will have any manners. He said, "How?" And the Parsee left that cake and climbed to the top of a palm tree with nothing on but his hat, from which the rays of the sun were always reflected in more than oriental splendor. And the rhinoceros upset the oil stove with his nose, and the cake rolled on the sand, and he spiked that cake on the horn of his nose, and he ate it. And he went away, waving his tail to the desolate and exclusively uninhabited interior, which abuts on the islands of Mazandaran, Socotra, and the promontories of the larger equinox. Then the Parsee came down from his palm tree and put the stove on its legs and recited the following sloka, which, as you have not heard, I will now proceed to relate. Them that takes cakes which the Parsee man bakes makes dreadful mistakes. And there was a great deal more in that than you would think, because 5 weeks later, there was a heat wave in the Red Sea, and everybody took off all the clothes they had. The Parsee took off his hat, but the rhinoceros took off his skin and carried it over his shoulder as he came down to the beach to bathe. In those days, it buttoned underneath with 3 buttons and looked like a waterproof. He said nothing whatever about the Parsee's cake because he had eaten it all, and he never had any manners then, since, or henceforward. He waddled straight into the water and blew bubbles through his nose, leaving his skin on the beach. Presently, the Parsee came by and found the skin. He smiled one smile that ran all round his face 2 times. Then he danced 3 times round the skin and rubbed his hands. Then he went to his camp and filled his hat with cake crumbs, for the Parsee never ate anything but cake, and he never swept out his camp. He took that skin, and he shook that skin, and he scrubbed that skin, and he rubbed that skin just as full of old, dry, stale, tickly cake crumbs and some burned currants as ever it could possibly hold. Then he climbed to the top of his palm tree and waited for the rhinoceros to come out of the water and put it on. And the rhinoceros did. He buttoned it up with the 3 buttons, and it tickled like cake crumbs in bed. Then he wanted to scratch, but that made it worse. And then he lay down on the sands and rolled and rolled and rolled, and every time he rolled, the cake crumbs tickled him worse and worse and worse. Then he ran to the palm tree and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed himself against it. He rubbed so much and so hard that he rubbed his skin into a great fold over his shoulders and another fold underneath where the buttons used to be, but he rubbed the buttons off. And he rubbed some more folds over his legs. And it spoiled his temper. but it didn't make the least difference to the cake crumbs. They were inside his skin and they tickled. So he went home, very angry indeed and horribly scratchy. And from that day to this, oh best beloved, every rhinoceros has great folds in his skin and a very bad temper, all on account of the cake crumbs inside. But the Parsi man came down from his palm tree, wearing his hat from which the rays of the sun were reflected in more than oriental splendor, packed up his cooking stove, and went away in the direction of Orotavo, Amygdala, the upland meadows of Anantarivo, and the marshes of Sonaput.
Games. Each one of these pictures will let you play a different game. If you put the star over a picture and press a button, the game will begin. Have fun. Who made the rhinoceros itchy? Try again. Yes, the Parsi put those itchy cake crumbs in the rhino's skin. If you could have one of these animals for a pet, which one would you choose? Wow, that would be a funny pet. Which picture shows the Parsi with his hat off? Yes, the Parsi took off his hat because it was so hot. Rhinos come in all different sizes. Choose the box with only small rhinos. Yes, these are baby rhinos. Look at all the Parsis. Which Parsi is exactly like the Parsi in the blue box? You're right, these Parsis are exactly alike. Do you remember when the Parsi was baking his cake? Look at this picture carefully and try to remember everything you see. Now, look at these characters. Which one did you see in the picture? You're right, the Parsi was in the picture. Choose the animal that belongs in the missing piece. The snake fits perfectly. Choose a box to see what's inside. Then choose another box to try to find its match. If you do not find a match, the boxes will close and you try again. Try again. You can play this game over and over again. Just choose a box. Games. In the story, which character went swimming? That's right, it was very hot, so the rhinoceros took off his skin and went swimming. Imagine you are baking a cake as big as the Parsees. What flavor would your cake be? Chocolate, lemon, or strawberry? Yum! That would be delicious! Choose the Parsee that is at the top of the stairs. Whew, that's a lot of stairs to climb when it's hot. Choose the group with only rhinos. You did it! You found the rhino's family. These Parsees make cakes very fast, but one Parsee is a little slower than the others. Which Parsee is different from the rest? Right, that Parsee is still mixing his dough, and the others are starting to bake their cakes. Look at this picture carefully and try to remember everything you see. Now, look at these characters. Which one was not in the picture? Good job! Choose the animal that belongs in the missing piece. Yes, it's the rhino! Choose a box to see what's inside. Then choose. Try again. You can play this game over and over. Which of these animals ate the Parsee's cake? You're right. The rhinoceros spiked that cake on the horn of his nose, and he ate it. Imagine that you are visiting a zoo. Which of these animals would you like to see first? Yes, that would be a fun visit. Which picture shows the cake on top of the stove? That's the cake that smelt most sentimental. Which picture shows the Parsees that are all the same size? Good job! The Parsee likes to keep his things very neat. In which of these pictures are his things messy? Yes, and what a mess! Look at these pictures carefully. Try to remember all of them. Now, look at these pictures. Which one did you see before? You're right. Choose the Parsee that belongs in the missing piece. Yes, you did it! Choose a box to see what's inside. Then choose another box to try. Try again. Try again. You can play this game over and over. What happened to the rhino's skin when he rubbed against the tree? Did his skin come off, or did he rub folds and wrinkles into his skin? That's right, the rhinoceros rubbed so hard he made his skin wrinkle. Which part of the story did you like the best? Yes, that was a good part of the story. Which picture shows the rhinoceros with its skin off? Right, it was too hot, so the rhinoceros took off his skin. In which picture do you see only one rhinoceros? You got it! All of these rhinos look very much alike, but which one is looking in a different direction? That's right. Look at this picture carefully and try to remember everything you see. Now, look at these things. Which one was not in the picture? Good for you. Choose the rhinoceros that belongs in the missing piece. Excellent. You're very good at puzzles. Choose a box to see what's inside. Then, try again. You can play this game over and over again. Just choose a box. Game. Which of these characters took off his skin? Sure, and didn't he look silly without his skin? Which of these things would you most like to do? Would you like to swing in a palm tree, swim with a rhinoceros, or bake a huge cake? Yes, that would be fun. Which picture shows the Parsi that is sitting? Great! Maybe the Parsi was tired because it was so hot. Look at these two groups. Which group has hats that are all the same color? Super! Choose the cake that is different from the others. Right, maybe the Parsi should hide this one from the rhinoceros. Look at these pictures carefully. Try to remember all of them. Now, look at these pictures. Which one was not there before? You did that very well. Choose the rhinoceros that belongs in the missing piece. Right-o! That's the rhino! Choose a box to see what's inside. Try again. You can play this game over and over. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the disc. Here are the names of some other titles I know you will enjoy.